Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're gonna get down and dirty. Not really too down and dirty because I'm not that big of a YouTuber, but we are going to be talking about, for me, in my experience, on my level on the platform, y'all's questions slash misconceptions, hot shingles in your area, you say, y'all's misconceptions and questions about what it is like being a YouTuber, kind of going through different elements of the YouTube or whatever. I asked on Twitter, I asked on my community tab for y'all to submit whatevers. We got a nice little list going on. Because I know quite a few of y'all have had different questions pertaining what it's like. I mean, some of y'all have wanted to start your own burp squad. Some of y'all have wanted to start your own channels and stuff like that. So they've been like, you know, wanting some information, some enlightenment, some discussion about my personal experience with getting started on this particular social media platform. So we have actually got quite a few really good bomb diggity whatevers. We're going to get some kind of in-depth going on here. We're going to be talking about monetization. We're going to be talking about dealing with negativity. We're going to be talking about how I got started, just all that kinds of good stuff. So let's just get right on into it. And these questions are not done in any particular order. I just went through with where I asked y'all and I just wrote them all down because I can't look at my phone to look at them because y'all know, well, here's a YouTuber secret. I film on my phone. I have since the very beginning. And hopefully we'll be getting a new phone at some point, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more HD, but until then, this is what we're using. Okay, the first one is, what do you do when you sit down to film a video and spend 2 hours trying to film it just to delete all of the footage? At that point, usually I just cry. But there have been times that when you're going on in and you get everything ready and you're getting, in my case, you get yourself all made up, you got everything done, you're filming and you're trying to do this whole thing video, and for some reason, the video just doesn't, I feel like as a creator, at least for myself, I hold myself to a certain standard of content that I want to get across to y'all. And when I personally, you know, feel like I haven't met that in a video, when a video just isn't jiving with me, from filming to editing to whatever, I just scrap the whole dang thing. It's a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit like, wasted time, but over time, I've learned that there are a lot more things for me to stress about. It is super frustrating, especially when you're like, when you're with the one that's the most frustrating for me is when I have a really in-depth video, like one of my ones where I've got my research and my notes, and I've got a specific point, a specific feel, a vibe that I want to get through to y'all via the video, and it just ends up, I just don't feel like I've made my point. Those are frustrating because that's a lot of effort, a lot of time in front of the camera, a lot of whatever. So I feel like you just kind of have to figure out for yourself, just learn to go with the flow. It's not the end of the world. It will get better. Sometimes it will take me like a week of being salty for me to be like, finally, I will refilm this shiz. Then kind of probably one of the most simple whatevers, what made you become a YouTuber? I mean, I grew up in sort of the era of like when YouTube was kind of doing its thing. I was getting my dipping my toes into like kind of the alternative whatever. So I was watching those like super sped up makeup tutorials with like non-copyright music in the background. You know, I was looking at the early days of Michelle Phan. We're talking Venus Angelic, you know, how am I gonna get big giant anime eyes? And it was like, you know, also during that time when I was like, I'm gonna be, if y'all remember that like My Strange Addiction and they did that Living Doll episode, that's what I wanted to be. Not the dude with all the plastic surgery, but the doe-eyed Lolita anime kawaii looking one. I had told myself that that is what future Soraya was gonna be. Not so much at this point, but I kind of started a channel. I've been kind of like going back and forth and I'm like, I want to start this. How am I gonna start this? And I was kind of under the influence of like, well, you have to have certain things to start a channel. I remember Googling like best camera for filming YouTube. And they're like, you need this like $3,000 Canon. And I remember just sitting there being all like, I don't got that. And so some of the first videos I filmed, if I can find some of my first videos, I will leave them down below. Y'all can have I will warn you. This is when I thought it was a good idea to like, not like shave my eyebrows and disgustingly bleach my, it's a thing. But really, I just wanted a platform for me to talk about things that I was passionate about. Like you see other people do it and you're like, okay, all right, well, I like that thing too. I like those things. I want to talk about those things. So there really wasn't any sort of like, yeah, I'm going to become YouTube famous and this is going to end up being my job. It was more just kind of seeking a platform for which to express myself. What positive and negative sides are there to being a YouTuber for you? Positivity, I have found this absolutely amazing community. I love all of y'all so much. I have made friendships. I've interacted with you all. It has been a very good thing for me in that sense, in the sense of I have a place to express myself. I've been able to find a lot of like-minded people, and that is an absolutely wonderful thing in and of itself. I would say the negativities fluctuate depending, like, I don't think of any like real, I'm not that big. I'm not a big YouTuber. I am little micro YouTuber on this platform. So I haven't experienced a huge amount of those things that I feel would be considered negative. I mean, like, yeah, I guess one of the realities now is if I don't create content, I don't get paid. I mean, and that's kind of neither here nor there because, you know, I never expected that I would get paid. But I mean, I don't get a lot of hate, or at least a lot of hate. I don't look at a lot of my comments that are like held for review. It honestly surprises me the amount of hate that smaller channels like Teresa is Dead and Lacey from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips get. I'm like, what, why? I mean, honestly, the only like negative, because this is something, making videos and doing the content that I do is something that I enjoy, otherwise I wouldn't do it. But I would say, I guess the only negative is having to deal with like ignorant people or people who who put it upon themselves. It is their journey in which to leave really mean, nasty, and whatever comments down below that it's like, why? I have done roasting my hate comments before because at this point in my life, I'm like, sounds like a you problem, people. But all in all, I haven't experienced too many negatives except for like, you know, when you're depressed and your anxiety is going whatever and it's like you got to make a video and you're lying in bed amidst a bunch of chocolate wrappers and you really don't feel like filming. And that sounds like seriously first world problems. How do you prepare for a new video? Honestly, it depends on the video. For example, this kind of video, we beat the face, obviously. I had written down the whatevers previously, set up my tripod, my ring light, and my umbrella light, because that's the lighting I'm living for right now. And that's about it for that. If I've got a video where I'm talking about products that I have on hand, I like setting those out. Usually I make a list and I like setting those out the night before. I'm a little bit anal, a little bit OCD about some things. If it's a video that I have to do like this long and whatever, I will usually do research and whatever, and I'll have like a rough draft and then I'll go through it. I don't know why. Suddenly it's like, every time when I try to film it, suddenly it's like, what is the dust? What is the smell? I have a rough draft, then I'll narrow that down to like some notes and stuff like that. So those kind of videos tend to take a longer period of time. I do have this cute little notebook that I keep with me that I write down video ideas, you know, ones that I've got the full list for, ones that I add to as I think about it. This person also asked, how do you handle criticism? I like to think I do it fairly well. Constructive criticism, like y'all asking me repeatedly to please link whatever on my face and my whatever's down below in the description box. I've gotten a little bit better. I'm starting to list in the description box. I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but in recent videos, I've been listing wig, clothing, and if I'm wearing a hat. I need to be better about listing the face, but by the time I get to the description box part, I'm like, what was I wearing? But when it comes to like criticism that's just kind of like stupid. I mean, like I said, constructive criticism, if you're coming from a point of being like, okay, I'm telling you this so that you can better yourself, better your content, better your channel, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm all down. Sometimes personally, we have a hard time acknowledging and seeing our own inadequacies. But when you're someone coming up on here and being like, change how you do your voice. If you didn't change your hair color every 2 whatevers, wear less makeup. You don't look good. You dress like a 5-year-old. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. So, and like I said, because I'm small, I don't get a lot of like random hate. How did you get started? How did you decide what you would make your channel about? How I got started was literally out in my husband's garage. I said, screw it. I had my phone and I was like, hi, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I have since deleted that video, unfortunately, because there was a time where I was like, well, I can't let people see how unprofessional I was in the beginning. But I literally was just like, all right, let me do an introduction to my channel and be like, hi, I'm gonna be making YouTube videos and bleh. So it's literally just me being like, okay, I have a phone, it can record. I have a computer with a free editing software on it, put 2 and 2 together and started creating content. Now, deciding what my channel would be about, for any of y'all who've been with me for an extended period of time, y'all know this was a evolutionary sort of thing. In the beginning, my channel was not 90s Love Child, it was Nana Kawaii Death Doll, because I was under the impression that I was going to be a living doll. So in the beginning, I just wanted to talk about things I was passionate about. So, makeup, alternative fashion, it just kind of started off from there. In the beginning, I was doing more outfits of the day, which I know several of y'all have requested I start doing again. And I must admit, y'all, part of the reason I don't do my outfits of the day is, you see this, right? From the waist up, that's great. From the bottom, I'm wearing leggings and joggers. So I'm not actually full decked all the way from the top to the bottom. But it was just sort of a conglomeration of all things that I wanted to talk about. And as the years have come, I've sort of refined myself into what I like to do. In the early whatevers, I wasn't doing makeup reviews. I'm not even entirely sure what I was doing. I had some hauls, and when I first started my channel, I dropped off the face of the earth for like a year and a half. So it just sort of evolved in time. And that's what I kind of like to tell people who want to get into YouTube. They're like, all right, I'm like, you don't have to have everything set in stone. Let the experience sort of flow and tell you what you want to be. What's my favorite thing about being on YouTube? In all honesty, my favorite thing about being on YouTube is the camaraderie I have with y'all, as well as the friendships I've made. Yeah, getting paid for talking about makeup and whatever is nice, but the most fulfilling part about being on this platform for me is the meaningful discussions I've had with y'all, all y'all who have reached out. The thing that I love to get the most is when y'all send me a Snapchat or an Instagram message and you reach out to me and you say, thank you so much for posting that particular thing. I am having this issue, or it has helped me. I mean, that is the epitome of just like feeling so honored that something I created and put out there help somebody. Like, I don't want to be, at the end of the day, my biggest accomplishment is that I made like a shiz ton of money. Yes, money would be nice, but the more, like I said, the enriching part that has been really just the discussion and the experience I've able to have with different people across this platform. That has been so rewarding and so wonderful. And like I said, nothing compares to being reached out to from someone who's having the same issues as you, or just a Snapchat that says, thank you so much for being. I'm like, yes, I love you. I love you all. I mean, that is honestly my favorite thing about having started this YouTube journey. How hard is it to film when your pets want attention? Now, this is kind of funny because I have 3 cats. Really speaking, I have two, because Coco, the one that you've heard screaming every once in a while, basically that's David's cat. She don't like me. She don't want nothing to do with me. She loves him. Except when she was in heat, and then she'd come out here and she'd rub up on anything. But she's fixed now, so that's not a problem anymore. And then Ophelia, who is the white and black one, has a very limited range of motion. Her favorite positions are eating and laying down, so she never comes out in here. But y'all probably know I now have a son, Sebastian, Dingus boy, who likes to get into everything. And when he wants attention, what does he do? He bites mama, or he plays with the cords, or rubs against the lighting, rubs against the tripod, and then mama has to banish him to the bedroom until she's done filming. So until getting him, I hadn't had too much of a problem, but now he's a big problem, but I love him. Do you feel pressure to talk about the latest drama? Yes and no. I mean, part of the problem with being a YouTuber, I think Jen Loves Reviews talked about this, where people were getting upset, being like, why do YouTubers have to make it for the view? You know, why do they make content for the views? It's like, for those of us that do this as a full-time job, the views are literally what pay our bills. I mean, it's like saying someone's writing a book to not have it be read. You know, why are you writing a book to have it be read? Obviously, you want to create a video that's going to be seen, that's going to be watched. So saying, why are people doing it for the views? It's like, well, the views literally determine how much money we make. And especially when it comes to someone doing this full time, you know, you gotta make the money. But yeah, there is a certain amount of pressure, especially when you see, it's like so frustrating. I know that I did not get the subscriber count that I have because of my makeup. Not saying I'm bad at makeup, but I'm not out here recreating Venus's Botticelli on my eyelid. Makeup artistry and tutorials is not what made my channel where it is now. What made my channel where it is now is being opinionated and sassy and whatever. And there is that whole, you know, because talking about drama creates views. Because, you know, my most whatever video, the video that got me to where I am now, was first we roasted the shiz out of the Kat Von D fetish collection, and then we talked about the fall of Kat Von D. And those are my two most viewed videos, and those are the videos that hit the algorithm that got me that subscriber boost. And so you look at other people, you know, doing drama videos, and you're like, okay, all right, that gets a lot of views, that's good. And some things you just want to talk about, but I noticed when I was trying to be drama and all like whatever, I was stressed. I was like, I don't want to. You gotta make a video about it, then you gotta edit, and then hopefully you gotta get it out before the drama dies down, or else it's just useless. So I'm a lot less inclined to talk about drama now, just because I don't have the time or the whatever. But there is a certain amount of pressure, either internally or externally, for whatever reason. Do you feel like bigger channels tend to ignore smaller ones? Yes. Yes, they do. And this is probably for two reasons. Number one being, when you reach a certain level of fancifulness, of subscriber count, of views, you sort of ascend to a different plateau than the smaller YouTubers. So it's just not on your radar anymore. In my personal opinion, obviously I haven't ascended yet. And with that, there is a certain sense of, I don't know, like it's just, they ignore them in the sense of, like I said, they're just not in the same hemisphere, as it were. So there's almost like an unintentional ignoring, because once you start getting bigger, you start getting noticed by the bigger YouTubers, you start rubbing shoulders, you know, people, when you reach a certain YouTuber, a subscriber amount, and you're climbing that, the bigger YouTubers, oh, suddenly they notice you. They're like, oh, hey, you've got whatever like we do. For some reason, subscriber count is what denotes talent, quality, or whatever. Whereas, you know, say you have a channel that rose really quickly in fame, and suddenly everyone's all like whatever about it. Would a channel with half that or less than half that was creating the exact same content and being just as good, would they get the same amount of attention? No. because it does have to do with algorithm and numbers and everything like that. So I do find that there is a divide between, big channels and even big channels and relative to like smaller, I would say the peaking point is probably after you hit that 100K, because that's when you get your first play button and you're starting to get a lot of traction. It's a hallmark. People are like, oh, look, you're getting noticed by other 100K channels, You don't see a lot of channels with less than that getting a lot of presentation. How much harder is it to get brand deals / sponsorships as a small channel? Well, it's not difficult when they don't offer them to you. I have been offered a sponsorship once. It ended up falling through because they wouldn't let me be completely honest about my review, so in the end it's not a sponsorship I would have won anyway. Oh no, wait, I had the other sponsorship with the handbag, so 2 sponsorships. So I don't know how hard or easy it is, with like, I've learned from a bunch of other smaller whatevers, you wait for the brands to come to you. I don't know if you go to them or they haven't, but you wait for them to grace you with their presence and be like, yes, we would like to send you something. But until then, I just go through my email, go and be like, I wish any of these emails in my business email were something worth having. Because 9 times out of 10, they're trying to give me teeth whitening. I can't, the new one that I've been getting is some kind of like computer programmy whatever, and I'm like, it's not even a full, they don't have a link to the product or nothing. So I'm not sure what the brand whatever. I'd say you probably want to go talk to Butte Bean, because she's actually had a lot more in the sponsorship and brand whatevers than me. And this kind of plays into, have you ever had weird scammy sponsorship requests? Yeah. It's just like, not so much scammy. I did have one company or thing that wanted to send me a wig, but I had to buy it through Amazon. I don't know. And then I always get the one that's like, oh, hey, like I said, I've had that computer program, whatever software thing. And I'm like, I don't even know. Then you have like oh dear, we've looked at your channel and you look like such a perfect match for like, I don't know, some kind of weird tea or some kind of like I've been like, they're like hair tools and stuff, acne, whatever. And I'm just like, most of it for me, all the whatever business inquiries that land in my business email are basically bunk. How long did it take your channel to show consistent growth? Now this goes in part with when I first started my channel, I was like, hey, what's up? And I created some hauls and some other videos, and then I went off the radar for like 1.5 years, which is very bad. That's not good for the algorithm of your channel. And then we struggled. We were going through, I was doing like my thing and my whatever, and basically what got me to where I am now is those Kat Von D videos. I think I was like scrolling at around like 2,500, maybe 3,000, and then I did those videos and I had a non-stop bump of growth for like, I want to say December, January, and February, going from 2018 to 2019. So I've been creating the regular content, but I feel like, you got to do something that gets that algorithm, that gets you noticed, that gets you out there. I'm not entirely sure about the science of it all. And in all honesty, I had consistent growth then. I do not have consistent growth now. We have been at 14. We haven't been able to break past the 14,000 for, I want to say almost a year now. And also my views are kind of like, woo. But like I said, I got 14.5 right now. And I'm lucky if on a non-heated, ranty video, I can break 2,000 views. I don't know if that has to do with the length of my whatever. I don't get all into like the, oh, look at your view duration or your whatever. I don't like tailoring my content to that. And I know that's not a good attitude if you want to make money and you want to have whatever, but I hate the whatevers that have like a video that's like 10 minutes and 15 seconds so there can be 5 ads. And I'm like, no. I just want to create the content that I create. I like talking, and I feel like the loyal subscribers, the people who love me for me and who love my content are gonna watch it, so that's what really matters in the end. Okay, we are actually at over 30 minutes at this point. I'm gonna call it there. I've got more. I'll send out another round of this to get some more questions and stuff like that. We will be doing a part 2. So stick around for that. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope this was insightful. I try to be as open as I can about my YouTube whatevers. You know, I'm very just blasé about how it is, what I've done, what I think y'all can do if y'all want to start a channel and stuff like that. Obviously, YouTube experience are different, varied on the creator, but that's where we are at this point in time. Obviously I'm going to be doing part 2, so like I said, stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave down below questions and whatever's, questions and misconceptions for part 2. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!